Oh, the pulpit's closed. Okay. Well, good evening and Merry Christmas Eve, albeit a very unique and unexpected one. If you don't know me, my name is Reverend Christopher Rowe. I use he, him pronouns, and I have the honor and the pleasure and the big responsibility of serving as the acting senior minister here at Fountain Street Church, where faith, hope, love, and joy and peace are the shared works of our liberated and liberating faith. And on behalf of everyone who calls this their spiritual home, let me welcome you to this special virtual edition of our Christmas Eve service here at Fountain Street. I am so honored and grateful to be joined by several people who are able to walk or trudge or sludge their way here this evening, including Gail Clements, not only our manager of productions, but also our pianist this evening. We're so grateful for him. I'm also joined by our chair, Amy Preston, as well as our vice chair, Kristen Locke, who will be our liturgists this evening. I'm grateful for their presence and their moral support this evening. And of course, our chaplain, Magi Peterson, will be with us to help us make our way through the illumination of our Advent and Christmas themes, as well as the peace, candle, and a special reading of her own. It is good to be with you in any way that we can. It is an honor to share this Christmas Eve with each of you. As we enter into this half hour of worship and celebration with one another, I invite you to hear these ancient stories told with ears of the contemporary spirit. Hear the music of familiar, joyful, and joyous lessons that each one of them brings. And remember these themes of Advent as we work our way through the candles this evening, and remember and pay tribute to the beautiful artwork done by our own Monica Stegman. But as we prepare for this time together, I invite you to hear this invitation to Christmas by Reverend Sherry Woodbury. On this eve of mystery and magic, let us enter into the Christmas story as if we were there on this holy night. What part of it will we play this year? Are you the mother, trusting your body to know what to do when the time of birth comes? Are you the father, protecting your vulnerable family from the unknown threats on a strange journey? Are you the innkeeper who has no room, or will you take us in? Perhaps you are the animals who will hear the child's first cry, but who will sing along with songs of rejoicing for this precious babe. Who will rise up? Who will follow the brightest star among us? Who will rise up and follow the stars of hope, the stars of faith, the stars of joy? Which wise ones this year will give away their wealth and remember what it is most important to adore? And when the Holy Family must travel once again, who in this harsh land, in these harsh times, will shelter them yet again? On this silent night, let us search our hearts for our place in the Christmas story that never ends. Let us choose again our role in this incarnation story of love. Welcome to Fountain Street Church. Welcome to Christmas Eve worship, my friends.
In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should register. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth and laid him in a manger, because there was no place in the guest room.
As we light the first candle from this Advent series, the candle of faith, let us commit ourselves to co-creating and cultivating a more faithful and faith-filled world, more in step with the one foretold by the ancient prophets, and the kind of world we know we can be. Let us commit to a kinder, softer, gentler world in which all may flourish and experience the fullness of life. And let us commit to a world that is grounded in love, justice, and everlasting peace, the kind of world that only the rooted and grounded and life-giving force of faith can bring us to and through. May it be so. May it be so.
Now, in the same region, there were shepherds living in fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was the angel, a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those whom he favors."
So as we light the second candle, the candle of hope, let us commit ourselves and our lives to creating, cultivating, and co-creating yet again a more hopeful and hope-filled world, more in step with the one we have called one another to do and be. Let us experience a kinder, softer, and more gentle world, the kind of world in which the spirit of hope can ensure that all may flourish and thrive. And let us commit to a world grounded in more love, more justice, and more everlasting peace, the kind of world that only the liberated and liberating presence of hope can bring us to and through. May it be so. May it be so.
When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." So they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known what had been told them about this child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. And Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, just as it has been told them.
Friends, as we prepare to light the third candle, the candle of love, let us commit to co-creating and cultivating and creating within ourselves a more loving and love-filled world, more in step with the one foretold by the ancient prophets, and more in step with the world that the God of love longs for us to be. Let us commit to a kinder, softer, and more gentle world in which all may flourish and experience the fullness of life. And let us commit to a world that is more grounded and rooted in love, justice, and everlasting peace, the kind of world that only the redemptive and redeeming life form of love can bring us to and through. May it be so. May it be so.
In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star in the east and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him, and calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod secretly called for the Magi and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen in the east, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road.
As we light the fourth candle from the Advent wreath, the themes that we celebrate here, faith, hope, love, and joy, let us commit ourselves to co-creating and cultivating a more joyful and joy-filled world, more in step with the one foretold to us by the ancient prophets, and the kind of world the human spirit and holy imagination both call us to. Let us commit to a kinder, softer, and gentler world in which all may flourish and know the fullness of life and living. And let us commit to a world grounded and rooted in love, justice, and everlasting peace, the kind of world that only the astonishing and wondrous life force that joy can bring us. May it be so. May it be so.
This is a reading by Maya Angelou that we've used before on Christmas Eve because it moves us so deeply. Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Flood waters await us in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow, falls upon snow to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips low and gray and threatening. We question ourselves, what have we done to so affront nature? We worry God, are you there? Are you there, really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? Into this climate of fear and apprehension, Christmas enters. Streaming lights of joy, ringing bells of hope, and singing carols of forgiveness high up in the bright air. The world is encouraged to come away from rancor. Come the way of friendship. It is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence, and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Floodwaters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate, which crouches breeding in dark corners. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first it is too soft, then only half heard. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear a sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now. It is louder, louder than the explosion of bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for. Not just the absence of war, but true peace. A harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies. Security for our beloveds and their beloveds. We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon the good season to wait a while with us. We, Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say, come, peace. Come and fill us and our world with your majesty. We, the Jew and the Zionist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you to stay a while with us, so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and see community. It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves to ourselves and to each other. At this holy instant, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ into the great religions of the world. We jubilate the precious advent of trust. We shout with glorious tongues at the coming of hope, and all the earth's tribes loosen their voices to celebrate the promise of peace. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud, peace. We look at our world and speak the word aloud, peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation. Peace, my brother. Peace, my sister. Peace, my soul.
Howard Thurman notably said, "When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among hearts, to make music in the heart." In lighting this candle for peace, let us not forget the works of Christmas that have been present in our lives, in this church, and in our world, in those places and those spaces beyond this Christmas night. Let us not forget the illimitable power of faith, the unending potential of hope, the unceasing capacity of joy, of love, and the unwavering tenacity of joy. And let us commit to a world grounded in love, justice, and everlasting peace, the kind of world and the only presence and persistence that we want in this world that comes from peace, that will bring us to it and through it. May it be so. May it be so. If COVID-19 taught us nothing else, if we learned nothing from COVID over those few years, let it be this. Let it be that in these life-shifting events, or those things that turn everything upside down on its head, let it be that it isn't the event itself that we remember or that carries us into our shared future together, but let it be the way in which we choose to respond as individuals and as a society and as a community like this church. That was what propels us into the kind of future we want to be. We see that reality echoed in the Christmas story, a story of immense chaos, everything being turned upside down on its head, everything completely subversive to the calcified reality in which the ancient storytellers found themselves. And yet it is a remarkable story of Zechariah and Elizabeth, Mary and Joseph, the shepherds keeping watch in their fields by night, the wise ones studying the night sky, each of them and all of them compelled by something larger and greater than themselves, each of them a sign and a symbol of faith, hope, love, joy, and peace incarnate. While we celebrate this miraculous birth, the story of love made flesh, entering into time beyond our wildest imaginations, let us not forget that the real wonder and imagination and magic of this story is happening in the people around it, the people at the periphery of the storytelling, and the ways in which they chose to respond. May we live that work of Christmas every day. May we live that magic into the new year. And until we see one another again, may you know the work of Christmas. Until we see each other next year. Merry Christmas.